Survivor has been a family show in our house for many years now. In fact, in 2015, a friend of ours made it onto the show, season 30, and wound up winning.
The winner of Survivor.
And we've been watching the show ever since. We've even gone back and watched pretty much every season they've ever produced. We love Survivor. The competition, the alliances, the friendships, the drama, all playing out against a backdrop of paradise, usually some exotic island somewhere. And if you're a true Survivor fan, you probably know about Ponderosa. It's where you go after you've been voted off.
I'm Christian, I'm juror number 7, and this is my Ponderosa.
I'm juror number 10, and this is my Ponderosa.
This is my Ponderosa.
And one of the most amazing things about Ponderosa is that's where many Survivor contestants see themselves and their reflection for the first time, sometimes in over 30 days.
This is not even crazy. Okay, for this?
So I finally got to see myself, and I'm like,
Yo, I'm skinny as hell! Okay. Just a few days ago.
Okay. Oh, dear Christ. Oh, God.
oh my God, I'm terrified.
1, 2, 3.
This is gonna be hard. I'm sure I'm disgusting.
Whoa! Holy.
You know, it's like I hadn't seen my reflection in 38 days. I walk into Ponderosa, there's a mirror, and I was not expecting to see what I saw. First of all, I've got like a bald spot on my beard that I didn't have.
Now imagine, just imagine, not seeing your reflection for an entire month or more. This unique scenario that survivors find themselves in is actually a miracle drug. Because what Survivor players tend to do throughout their time in the game is they focus on relationships, on others, and they focus on their performance in the various competitions. They don't obsess over their appearance because they can't. You have to help the tribe, contribute towards a common goal. You prove loyalty, you add value to the group, or you're gone.
Natalie, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
So what's the lesson for the rest of us? What can we non-survivors learn from this 20-plus year-long social experiment? Well, have you ever heard the phrase that too much of a good thing is a bad thing? Like, honey is awesome, but you have too much honey and you'll get sick. You'll throw up. Great wine, great Oreo cookie milkshake, or great whatever you like to drink, it's awesome until it's not. You have too much and you'll be wishing you didn't. So this concept got me thinking about something else we use every day, even multiple times a day, that our Survivor favorites are deprived of. The mirror. So the mirror, certainly a good thing, a helpful thing, but too much of it and all of a sudden it's a bad thing. I mean, do you know how much time you spend in front of the mirror each day? Or let me ask it this way, how much time do you spend looking at you every day? Most studies suggest that the average person is in front of the mirror for several hours per week. This means that in a given year, if you're awake for 16 hours a day, most people spend nearly 3 weeks of time every year staring at themselves in the mirror. And I'm convinced that we were never designed to look at ourselves as much as we do these days. See, the mirror is awfully helpful, but too much of the mirror is all of a sudden not helpful. It can actually be bad, right? Why? Because too much of the mirror either ushers in vanity or becomes a catalyst for self-hate. Being overly concerned with how we look or how we're presented really isn't healthy, because you look in that mirror too much and all of a sudden you start to nitpick. You start to see things that actually don't matter. In many cases, you see things that no one else even sees, ever. A hair out of place, some tiny imperfection that you found. Maybe your nostrils aren't the same size, your nose is a little crooked, too big, too straight, too sloped, or maybe one eye is slightly different. Maybe you decided to not like your chin or something else on your body. Too much of the mirror simply isn't helpful towards your joy, happiness, or fulfillment. And while all of us know this is true, what have we done? Well, we put a recording device on the mirror. That's essentially what we've done, because let's face it, if a mirror and a camera had a baby, you get a selfie camera. And we carry these image recording mirrors around everywhere we go. Selfies are the ultimate tool for vanity gone wild. What we decided is that, no, too much of the mirror isn't all that bad, so let's put a camera and a video recorder on the mirror so we can take endless amounts of selfies, which are now the most popular, most common picture taken each and every day. Let that sink in. The selfie is now the most common picture taken day in and day out. Of all the things to take pictures of in this world, we are pointing that lens back at ourselves more than anything else. Over 70% of Snapchat's content is selfies. Over 95 million selfies are uploaded to Instagram every day, and 33% of those selfies are edited before upload. Be Real, the popular app that's taking the world by storm, is exclusively selfies. It tells you every day, stop what you're doing, it's time to take another selfie. And how do you respond to your friends' Be Reals? By replying with another selfie. We don't want to remember that sunrise scene by the ocean anymore. We want to see our face again with the ocean in the background. It's vanity. It's 100% self-promotion. And the views and likes you get from this constant daily self-promotion will give you a microscopic boost of fake happiness and false relevance. See, we're not relevant because of our perfectly staged selfie, which in no way represents real life. That is not our purpose. This selfie number 372 for the month is not adding to your self-esteem, it's subtracting from it. It's just yet another screenshot of the mirror. For many, you have several per day, and you'll look at it, appreciate the likes and comments, and then very quickly think of what you should have done differently. I should have held the camera higher, opened my eyes a little bit more, positioned myself with better lighting, held my arm out, my leg forward, or smiled more. Some of you can't help but to tear yourself apart. And why do we do this? Well, for most of us, we kind of tear others apart as well. Even if that judgment remains a silent passing thought, it happens. And I am no way judging you for this behavior. I do it too. Guilty as charged. And because we build a pattern of judging and critiquing others and basically everything we see, it just so happens that we look at ourselves a lot more than we look at anyone else. So we just continue the pattern and the habit, but turn it on ourselves. Because we're looking at ourselves far more often than we were designed to, and we're just judging and critiquing what we see. Your reflection isn't the most important thing you'll see today, or any day. But dear God, do we as people obsess over our reflection, or really, our presentation, how we looked in that photo, our projected self. And that projection, like all projections, is hollow smoke and mirrors, the make-believe of Hollywood movies. And like a movie, our projected self is just lights cast on a screen to craft a desired image. Looks real, but is not. That's why the fulfillment gained from the attention and likes they garner evaporates just as fast as it came in. Because it's not real, it's not authentic, and deep down, I think we know it. Let me close with this, because up to this point, one might make the argument that much of what I said is just one man's opinion. But I did some digging, and it turns out that there have been multiple studies done on this very topic that carry weighty conclusions. For example, Disney has already started getting rid of mirrors in their restroom facilities. I was there with my family this past summer and noticed it with my own eyes. This is a picture of a restroom in Animal Kingdom near the Avatar land. Notice anything missing? There's no mirrors in front of the sinks. Instead of placing mirrors where we're all used to them, they're putting one mirror at the entry and exit of the restroom. And why? Because apparently you give people a chance to stare at themselves and they'll happily take the invitation to do so, and it slows down the flow of traffic. You take away the sink mirrors and replace it with one single mirror near the exit, and all of a sudden the restroom can process a whole lot more people each hour, greatly improving the flow of traffic. Who would have thought that simply removing mirrors would speed up the flow of traffic in public restrooms? Separately, and far more damning, a recent study showed that 77% of people take selfies regularly. In fact, over half the phone-carrying population takes between 1 and 4 selfies every day. But 82% of the people polled said they would rather see a traditional photo than a selfie. So really the data is telling us that we don't like seeing selfies, but we still take lots of them. And oh, it gets better. 90% of people think other people's selfies are self-promotion, while only 46% of people think that their own selfie is self-promotion, and also better than others. So literally, as a digitally infused, social media addicted culture, we're both cynical and narcissistic. Psychologists now know that people who take more selfies show higher levels of narcissism and psychopathy. So again, those with increased numbers of selfies are likely just psychopaths in training. Not my opinion, this is what the data is telling us. We already know that self-addiction leads to mental illness and insomnia, which who among us is wanting more of that? Women 16 to 25 spend an average of 5 hours per week taking and editing selfies. So if you're awake for 16 hours a day, that's over 2 weeks worth of time every year. And they're also taking an average of 7 shots to get that one image. I don't have the data for men, but I seriously doubt it's any better. Y'all, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but this is not the road we need to be on. The road of psychopath in training, narcissist in training, but it's the road we're on. However, all of this is within your control. You get to choose. How you spend your time is up to you. No one is threatening you to post another dadgum selfie. Will it ever stop? I hope so. Because we're simply not designed to look at ourselves as much as we are. The data is literally telling us that we don't like seeing selfies, but we still take lots of them, and somehow we believe in our broken minds that our own selfies are better and more noble than everyone else's. I mean, it kind of sounds insane, doesn't it? And man, I wish I could tell you that this is all just some sort of joke, but it's so not. And truly, we don't have to continue this way. It is completely up to you. Maybe ask yourself today, hey, self, in 10 years, will I be glad that I spent an entire year's worth of that time, nearly 6,000 awake hours, staring at myself? I know my answer, and I think you know yours, and it doesn't have to be that way. Hey, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, punch that like, subscribe, and ring that bell for me. Take care, y'all.